Let's make some last minute shrimp étouffée for my daughter. So I used about 2 pounds of shrimp, about 1/4 of a teaspoon of red pepper, 1 teaspoon of thyme, and also paprika, also a teaspoon of that. I used some vegetable chicken stock, but I'm going to flavor that with shrimp. Then I diced up onions and celery. I also used 3 tablespoons of flour and also minced garlic, about, 2 cloves. And I used diced tomatoes, which I had to dice up the ones that I had. Also some diced red peppers. We also need Worcestershire sauce and 3 tablespoons of cooking oil. I used 3 tablespoons of butter. And I thought I was going to use this big pot, but as I looked at it, it looked like some of the black was loosening up. I didn't want that, so I used another pot. And I took the flour and the oil. We're going to continuously stir this until it turns like a really golden brown. Now, don't have your fire too high or else it's going to burn. But this right here, this is looking really good. It's a caramelized, deep, earthly tone. So you don't want to burn it, okay? Then to that, we're going to go ahead and add the celery and the onions. We're going to stir that up just a little bit before we actually grab minced garlic. Add that to that pot, and then we're going to stir that up really nice to kind of start cooking those down. The flour is still browning, but it is not burning. It just has a high smoke coming from it. Don't worry about that. We're going to add more vegetables, those chopped bell peppers, and then we're going to continue to stir that up, making sure that you're constantly moving this. We don't want this to sit and just burn. So continuously stir that. And then we're going to add more of those ingredients while this is cooking. And you can see it's kind of clunky. Personally, I wish I had had more flour so that the outcome would have been thicker. You'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. So we're just going to constantly stir that. And then once we've done that for about 5 minutes, we're going to add that 1/4 of a teaspoon of cayenne. We're going to also add that thyme. Now, if you don't have thyme, you can use the fresh thyme. This is the dried thyme. And also that paprika. And then we're going to stir all of that together. Again, make sure you're constantly moving this because you see how thick it is. So we're really going to keep stirring it while it's cooking. To that, we're going to also go ahead and add the stock. Don't mind that Michael Jackson Thriller glove. I was wearing a brace. Didn't want to use my hand and mess up my brace. But we're going to add to that diced, as fine as you can get those tomatoes. I had a regular can of diced tomatoes, so I kind of chopped it up just a little bit more. Now to that, we're going to go ahead and add that vegetable stock. Now, remember I told you I had some shrimp flavor because I kind of wanted more shrimp flavor than the actual shrimp. How much shrimpy can you get? But anyway, I added 4 cups of that stock to this pot. We're going to stir this up to break up and loosen up the vegetables with the roux that we made. We're going to turn this up high until it comes to a boil. Keep stirring. You don't have to be so precise, but don't walk away. Now we're going to go ahead and add some of this shrimp bouillon. Now I show right here that this is approximately a teaspoon, but in all honesty, behind the scene, I added about 2 more teaspoons. So we're going to continue to stir this until it came to a boil. And once it's at a boil, we're going to go ahead and turn this down to a medium heat. We're going to continue to let this boil so that it cooks down just a little bit, allowing those vegetables to continue to cook and get soft, and also the flavor to really cook in. And you saw I just added 3 tablespoons of butter. Now we're going to let this cook down and let that butter melt up, but it's time to add the shrimp. So as you see, again, this is a little over 2 pounds of the shrimp. And we're going to stir this up and cook it. Now, the thing about this, oh, wait, Worcestershire. Yeah, we need that Worcestershire. And that's about 1/4 of a teaspoon, so it's not very much of that. Now, let's continue cooking this shrimp. Now, you don't want to cook this very long. You can actually see that some of the shrimp is turning pink already. It cooks really, really fast. So don't overcook it unless you like chewing on rubber. Yeah, I don't eat shrimp, but I do know how to cook it. So we're going to keep stirring this until all of the shrimp has actually came up to have like that pink color. You can still see raw shrimp in there if you look really close. So just as it's about to be done, I am going to turn this off. And once I turn it off, I'm going to take it off the stove and we're going to let it sit to the side, because even though it's not on the stove, it's still cooking. Once we do that, my daughter decided to pour it over